Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a search bar animation in Figma in a few simple and easy steps. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a product like this in our phone. So this is something that looks like the Google animation, but what happens is when you click into this search bar, you can see there is actually an animation running, and then as you can see there is that dot click, and then we can even go further and click on our keyboard and type in some words. For example, let me type in some word F for example, and as you can see it creates an animation that looks something like the way it would look in a search bar icon. And then what you can do is you can also click on this and then you can close that and go back. So I'll show you how to do this in a few simple and easy steps. So if you want to learn how to do this, watch this video. Alright, let's get into today's video. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna create a new project. Just click on this. So our project is loading, so we're gonna rename it to anything we want, but we're gonna call ours search animation. Alright, so that will do. So next we're gonna insert a frame. We're gonna choose the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I love this. Okay, so next we're gonna change this to some form of dull gray. Just make it a little bit dull gray, something like that. Right, so that will do. So next we're going to type in some text. So let's just make sure our text is size 50. I'm going to use the font type Poppins. Right, then I'm going to use the size medium. Right, so we're going to type in some text. I'm going to call this search. Right, so this is gonna be our design. Then we're gonna space this a little bit. We're gonna space it by 5. Alright, so we're gonna place this right around there. So this is gonna act as our main icon. Then we're gonna give this different colors. Alright, so we're gonna color this S. We're gonna give it a blue. Yeah, some form of blue. Alright, that would do. Then we're gonna give our E some red color. We have red. Gonna give our A yellow color. Gonna give our R a blue color. Let's just give it that blue. Then we're gonna give this C a green color. Just make sure it's something greenish. That would do. Now gonna give our H a red color. Alright, that's it basically. Then we're gonna create our search. So I'm gonna give this some dimensions that I already typed down. Mine is 366 by 51. Yours can be any size. We're just gonna center that. I'm gonna give this a radius of 30. Alright, so the size does not matter. So I'm gonna give this a stroke. Just wanna make sure the stroke is that, so we can set the fill to white. It can be white actually. So we're gonna change the stroke color. Just gonna make it something lighter, right around there, some lighter gray. Right, that looks better, much better. Right, then we're gonna design the bottom of it. So just zoom in. Gonna design the bottom of it. So we're gonna draw some small tiny boxes right here. This is just for design purposes. Don't worry about that. So I'm gonna type in some text there. I'm gonna type in search. Then I'm gonna change this font to font 15. Alright, then we're gonna set that to extra light. Actually, let's set that to light. Then we're gonna duplicate this text. Just make sure it's right at the top. I'm gonna change this to language. Alright, so that's just for design purposes, but this is gonna be our focus. So we're gonna design this a little bit. We're gonna make use of a plugin I have. I'm gonna make use of the font awesome icons. Just wait for it to load. Then I'm gonna search for a search bar called search. I'm gonna make use of this search icon. Alright, this will be useful. Alright, then we're gonna open the font awesome icons again. Then we're gonna select a microphone. Right, that would do. Okay, so we have our microphone right there, and then we have our search right here. Then we're gonna zoom in and just reduce the size of that a little bit. They're gonna just give it a dull gray color, so just adjust this. Alright, that looks much better. Alright, then off to our microphone right here. Then we're gonna reduce the size of this slightly. Just make sure to hold shift while reducing it so that you maintain the size. Alright, then we're gonna zoom in. I just wanna change this top to something red in color. So we're gonna draw a rectangle right there. Alright, then we're gonna give this a radius of 10. I'm gonna place that right on top of it. I'm gonna give this a blue color. It's gonna be blue. Then we're gonna change the color of the entire microphone to something red. Alright, so after that we can zoom out, and yeah, we have our design right there. Alright, so next we're gonna highlight the entire search icon. Then we're gonna right click, and then we're gonna make this a component. So we're gonna create a component after that. So we're gonna call this search component. Alright, so next we're gonna just drag our search component to the side for just some few minutes. Right, so we're gonna create some animations. We're gonna create some effects on our search. We're gonna make use and create some effects. So next we're gonna add a variant. So after we made this a component, we're gonna add a variant. So in our first variant, we're gonna, so we want to make sure that when the user clicks in this box, we want to just make sure that there is a shadow that appears right around the back, and that there is a blinking icon right around there. So we're gonna change the variants. We're gonna give it an effect. We're gonna give it a shadow effect. We're gonna give it shadow effect. We're gonna set this Y to 0. We're gonna change the blur to 10. Then we're gonna change this to 20. Right, as you can see, there is some shadow. It's not too much. I don't want it to be too much. Okay, so actually let's make that a little bit more visible. Let's change this to 30. Alright, that would do. Right, so next we want an icon that actually blinks. Alright, so we're gonna so there is this icon right there. Sorry about that. So we're gonna type in that icon. So this is actually a text. So this is that straight bar. So we're gonna give this a font of 20. Right, that looks much better. Then we want it to appear right around there. Okay, alright, so next we want to create that blinking kind of effect. So what we want to do is want it to be that when a user clicks on the main search component, it actually changes to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a prototype. So just go to prototyping, then we're going to add an interaction. So we're going to say on tap, when a user taps in here, it's going to change to variant 2, and then we want that to happen on smart animate. That can happen smartly. We just want that to take only 100 milliseconds, so it should actually happen quickly. Alright, so that will happen. Now what next? We want this to actually have a blinking kind of effect. Okay, we don't want it to just stay the way it is, so we want it to be reversing and having a blink. So what happens is just select the main search component, back to your design, then we're going to add a new variant. So click right here on these 3 dots. We're going to add a new variant. So in our new variant is actually going to be like this, but then we're also gonna give our new variant the same effects we gave this. We're gonna give it we're gonna give the y value 0, we're gonna give it a blur of 10, then we're gonna change this opacity to 30. Okay, so just like the former. So what happens is we want this to be transitioning between this and this after a certain delay. So we're gonna go to variant 2, then we're gonna create an interaction. We're gonna say after delay of let's change this to 400. After delay, we want that to change to variant 3. So it can actually happen instantly. Then we're gonna go to variant 3. Then we also want to create an effect. So we actually don't need any we actually don't need any tap effect. So we actually don't even need that drag effect. So on variant 3, we're just gonna add another interaction. We're gonna say also after a delay of 400 milliseconds, we want this to be transitioning back to this and back and forth. It's just like that. It's gonna change back to variant 2. So this will happen instantly. So variant 2 will keep changing to variant 3, and variant 3 will be going back and forth just like that. Alright, and there we have it. So we can test our before we test it, so next we can drag the main component. So just alt and copy, alt and drag. They're gonna drag our main component, place it back, center it. Right, so we can test it. Let's run and see what it will look like. Alright, so our app has just loaded. So as you can see, it has loaded. So when someone clicks in the box, it will actually be blinking like that. It will be actually, after it has clicked, it will go to variant 2, and then variant 2 will be interchanging with variant 3, as you can see. So that we've achieved the blinking effect. Okay, so next we're gonna work on the search when someone types on the keyboard. Alright, so next we wanna add another variant. So we're gonna go back to the main search component. So we're gonna so just make sure your search component is selected, then we're gonna add a new variant. Click on the 3 dots. We're gonna add a new variant. Alright, so we can zoom in. So we're off to variant 4. So inside variant 4, we're gonna enlarge the rectangle. So let's first enlarge the entire component. So inside variant 4, we're gonna enlarge this rectangle a little bit, just like that. Alright, so next we're gonna draw a line. Just make sure that line is selected. We just want to make sure it's at 0. Okay, so the angle is actually at 0. Right, so we have a line right there. So we're gonna change the line size to 0.5. Then we're gonna change its color to something light grayish. Right around there. Actually, let's set its size to 1. That won't do any harm in any way. Alright, so we want to make sure that when a user types in the keyboard, we can actually have another variant come in place. So we're gonna type in the text. So when the user clicks on F, we want to make sure that a variety of options actually pop up for the user to select from. So we're gonna duplicate this search bar. Let's make a duplicate 3 times. I'm holding Alt on my keyboard. Alright. So let's position that slightly. Right, so we're gonna duplicate this. So we're gonna type in some text. So when a user types in, we're gonna have some options pop up. Figma search animation. So it's actually gonna give a user some hints. So we're gonna change these sizes to size 15. Let's change this. Let's reduce this font size to 15. Right, that's much better. Duplicate that again. So we're gonna have another option, mobile app. So I'm gonna change this to Figma UI. That should be fair enough. Just gonna change this F to size 15. Right, so just wanna position that right around there. So that's actually okay. Okay, so we want that to appear when a user actually clicks on the keyboard. Okay. All right, so we're gonna create a transition between this and that. So this is variant 4. So we're gonna go back to variant 2 right here. Then we're gonna create a prototype. So we're gonna say on now, we're gonna choose a new option. So we're gonna say when a user clicks on the key gamepad. Okay, so that allows a user to press anything on the keyboard. So we're gonna press F on the keyboard. So just make sure to press F on the keyboard. We want to make sure that it actually changes to variant 4, and we want that to also happen instantly. Okay, just want that to happen instantly. So we're going to add some so just want to make sure that all these texts are actually in variant 4. Okay, so we also want to make sure that when a user clicks, we also want to give a user an option of going back to the main search. So we're gonna draw actually a straight line right here. So we're gonna just make sure this is set to 90. So we're gonna give a user an option to cancel in case they've typed in text that they want to change. So we're gonna type in something else. Just type in an X. So we're gonna change this X font to something comic new. Okay, I actually prefer that. So I'm gonna change that to regular. So I'm gonna place that right around there. I'm gonna give this a font of 18. So this X actually is simply going to be an option for a user to cancel when they want to actually type in again. So I'm gonna give this a light gray color. Yeah, something like that. So we're gonna position our X slightly around there. Alright, so next we're gonna, so actually that's it. So we're gonna give this X we're gonna prototype the X. So we're going to say when that X is clicked on, when the X is tapped on, change to, so to go back to variant 2. Okay, so also want to make sure the same option is there for variant 3. So on variant 3 we're also going to add the option of the key gamepad. When a user clicks on F, I want to make sure it actually changes to variant 4, because remember we have an effect where variant 2 changes to variant 3. So I want to make sure it's actually there in both, and that's basically it. So next we're going to run this. So just save that, then run that. Alright, so as you can see in our prototype right here, we actually have the option. So we have this blinking. So if someone clicks on the F, you can actually see these different options pop up, allowing user to search. So when a user also clicks on the X, it takes them back to the original. And that's basically it. That's how we create this animation. I wanted to show you in a few simple and easy steps. I hope you learned something. If you feel this helped you, just feel free to tell me below in the comments. I'll be glad to reply. And if there's something you could have done better, you can always share with me, tell me, and I'll be ready to make a video for you. And then last, if you're new to this community, I encourage you to join in by liking and subscribing, and then hit that notification bell, and so that you not miss any updates when I upload a new video every single week. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I didn't want to make this too long. I'll actually see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.